Right, welcome back to the road to better chess. We are black. Been black once or twice now, I think, for this series. D4. Alright, we're gonna go knight f6. Let's see what our opponent has in store for us. C4, okay, cool. So E6. Let's see. Catalan, Nimzo, anti-Nimzo, something else. Alright, I think we're gonna play into a Nimzo here. Um, I very much like the Nimzo and the Bogo, but I don't really remember the theory. There are so many lines and so many variations. I've got a few favorite things though. I do like fianchettoing my other. Oh yeah, okay. So this is it's like the 9 of 3, the Kramnik Nimzo or something. I forgot. This plan is always fun, but it's a little bit hit and miss. This plan is normally pretty good. There's also both of these, but I don't really want to complicate things too much, so I think I will just fianchetto and castle. Actually, should I just castle right away? Both of these are pretty good, but I actually don't really remember. I don't really remember how it works, so actually let's just get our other bishop out fianchettoed. Oh, this is a little bit like the Leningrad situation. Okay, let's ask some easy questions first. Actually, let's not even ask a question. Let's just go ahead with our fianchetto first. And then we'll see what they look like. Maybe they're going to play e3 here. Alright, we're going to put h6 on the board. And just see if they want to take that knight or not. I'm expecting them just to drop the knight back though. Keeping it safe. We are controlling the e4 square, which is important. But this bishop obviously stops this knight. So only our light square bishop is currently controlling the e4 square. Okay, in this position, we have this kind of situation, but I think we're just gonna go ahead and castle first. Let's not show our crazy cards just yet. G5 is a move in quite a few variations, specifically because of this pin. You jump here and then you push the pawn, and when they go back you jump your knight in, and you're hitting the knight you're pinning and you're hitting the bishop. But it obviously creates a really crazy um, kind of pawn structure in front of your king, which is a little bit iffy. So not the most recommended, I would say. Alright. I wonder if our opponent has had a move like this maybe at some point now. Probably here would be the one that I would be looking at if they did. Although we could probably take, because if they took with the queen, we'd be happy to trade off. Alright. Yeah, this is pretty standard still. They're going to castle. We're going to snap that knight off. Um, Actually, this does open up this idea as well. If they take, we can take with our bishop, and then we have the light squares. But maybe we just start off by getting our other knight in. Um, we could also play for a bit of a structure like this, having our pawns like this. Yeah, I think I'm just going to start off here. They're probably going to castle, then we're going to snap off this knight. Um, we could also then play for this and just hit this pawn up front. Put this other bishop out, because it's hard for them to protect the front pawn all the time. We could do that right now as well. If we play here, then this plan is a little bit silly. If we're playing here, we're basically trying to make a kingside attack happen, I guess. Otherwise, we're trying to pick up this additional pawn and play a slower, longer game. I mean, they could push this pawn though, and we would would win it, but we would open up this side of the board. Unsure what to do. Alright, we're just going to play up d6. I've found a trend in the last few games, unfortunately, which is that I get into a little bit of time trouble. I spend like 5-6 minutes on a move somewhere in the opening because I don't know what's happening. And then we still win a fair amount of the games, but probably not the way we want to win it. Alright. The one nice thing about this general plan here, I'm sorry, is that if they take, we actually have a threat here to fork their minor piece. Oops, sorry, to fork their minor pieces. So the plan comes with some value. It's not just, silliness. Alright, now we're going to snap off this knight because it's no longer pinned, and we're going to jump our own knight out here, I guess, and then look for this. Alright, so get our knight out. Also defends this knight, but our queen isn't really going anywhere. I'm actually going to put it right up to e6, e7. Still very close to the pinned knight as well, so it's not running away from this pin as such. We could consider this. Obviously now we've got this diagonal a little bit blocked up, but I think I'll do that in a move or two. I'm actually expecting they will end up playing e4 as well, in which case, depending on what's happening, we might be able to win that pawn actually, unless they have a rook or a queen already helping. So I have to see how our opponent wants to play this. There's always the option for white in the Nimzo to just kind of like break open the center. They frequently end up playing against e5, they play d5, and then they give you a really nice outpost, but at the same time your light square bishop is kind of stuck. Alright, they're getting their their rook active, but this doesn't matter because I can take here and I can take with my knight, and you've got an isolated pawn, and like, I'm just so happy. So I'm just going to go ahead with my general plan. We could always play our own a rook over to the b file just to oppose in case, so I'm expecting this might happen now actually. Yeah, but this isn't actually scary because if you take, I take back, and I have an open file. And if you push past, I take it because you didn't protect it twice. And if you take and then you do this, I still can take this way. And I will have 2 pawns versus your 1, and a great outpost for my knight. Alright, this is also a threat, so I think they have to attend to our move a bit faster than we have to worry about theirs. If they take, we take back. Then they've got isolated pawns here, so I'm expecting them to push. And actually, sorry, they can't. They have to push the e pawn. That's the plan. And if they do, if they push the e pawn, I think I might actually play here, and I'll just snap off the e pawn, also hitting this, which is a fork. And if they hit here, I go here, I'm also hitting their rook. And then we can bring our other knight over as well, or we can continue and just push our f pawn and get all our pawns up here. And if we push and they sacrifice, I mean, that's kind of scary, but I think we have, because our knight's covering here and our pawn's covering here, so we could walk our king over and get onto that open file, and they obviously are down a minor piece. If they take, we take back with the knight to secure that square. Yeah, so push past loses a piece. Taking, same threat, and then you've got isolated pawns. Pushing straight away, and this is the plan we just talked about. Pushing here, don't mind, still doing this. And you could take something, and then I would take something, I guess. Would I take with... Maybe I'd take with my queen in that case. You can hit me there. I have to run out of the way. But I always have this. I still have this. So that problem doesn't go away just because you put in-between moves on the board. So, alright, our opponent just vacates the premises. So, if we push now, they're probably going to run back, attacking this pawn, but it is defended. We could take, but that doesn't really help us. We could hit their rook, which might be fun. The rook has to go somewhere. We could also just pick up this dark square bishop at this point. Take, take. We have two defenders, they have two attackers, so we still have it. We could push first. The knight has to jump somewhere, probably back. Then we hit the bishop. Ah, but then this is a problem. So here, 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 here. Probably take first because we're hitting this, and if they take again, we could take with our pawn, I guess. They have to eventually take back. Which way to go is the best way to go? I'm really not sure. I do think pushing is correct though. And if they take here, what do? We take with the... Nah, I don't think I push both. I think I just push this one. And then I push here. And then I need to jump my knight somewhere. But that's why I feel like I should do this first. And then I get this jump. Ah, this is a nice jump. Because that's a fork. Yeah, I think this is going to be a little bit aggressive, but we're going for this. And we are jumping in this way, hitting the bishop and the c3 pawn, which is good for us. If they take off pawn, I think we take pawn back. You know, you would love to put our knight here, or we would love to play c5. Although in the actually, I think we want to put the knight here because then if they take, we can still take back with one of these pawns and keep a strong queenside pawn structure. And if they decide to stack, we're obviously going to be accepting that, and we're going to drop our king over and get the rook on the g file. And then whatever it was has to run away. And in that case, actually, we might have some serious damage options. This pawn can't protect the squares because it's pinned to the king. They do sack. Oh wow, okay. Well, we're going to accept. Is there any other in-between move we should consider? I could go up here, then they take, then I take. This is still a hit. I don't think that's necessary. Okay, we're just going to do this. The other option we have is to bring the rook over to the h file, actually. But I think I want to hit... I think I want to hit this pawn because that's the diagonal we're on. If I step out of this pin right now, if you push, I'm very happy. You have to run away, and I still get this jump in. If you come at me here, I can take it. Actually, maybe I just my queen over would be really good. So it's either going to be king over to get this going, or it's going to be queen up to get this going. Here is pretty good though. And the knight's protecting it, and the rook can come up here if I need to. And I can still block off the diagonal with my pawn as well. But this like, yeah. What's the threat here? I'm going to come in here. Yeah, I think this is the better move. Alright, we're just going to start hitting this bishop. And if you move it out of the way, I'm hitting your g-pawn, which would be basically like windmill problems. You've got to be very careful. There is, of course, all of these moves to kind of shut down the situation, but yeah, if you close it up, I get a great square for my knight, and I'm going to bring my light square bishop on the other diagonal. If you take, I'm taking. If you push, in this case, I'm just taking it, obviously, right? And I'm hitting your rook. Both of these squares are semi-protected, but I'll be doing this first. Ooh, I actually just saw a problem here. Here, if I go here, and they take this backwards one, I can't take it back. I have to take this bishop, because if I take back, this knight is undefended with check. Yeah, so here, you take, I have to take the front bishop. At least this is good, because it also comes with another threat. And then your bishop is over here, which actually isn't the biggest problem. And if your queen comes in, I'm blocking all these squares up. Coming over. Okay, yeah, okay, this is exactly what we just looked at. So I think our opponent is actually, if you take here, I take here, and if you take here, I take here, and you are in a world of trouble. Alright, so we're going to go ahead with this. Just straight down that diagonal. Feels very good for us. And we'll just see which way you take. We gotta take back the knight on f6. That's the important one. So either taking the dark square bishop, or we're taking back the knight here. If they take this one first... Oh, they took the other way. Okay, so we take here. Now we're protecting here, we're also hitting this. And we're also hitting this. So this is a very important... Our opponent was trying to play for this trick, but it doesn't work. Alright, now... I could sack once, I guess. And then pin it to your queen. Here. I could also just double up. If you come in, what am I doing? Knight over. I'm almost certain I have to bring my other rook in, I guess. Just wondering if there's a better move. These squares are covered right now, so my knight can jump. That makes their queen move. The queen could go here, but that's crazy because I would be... No, actually, I don't want to block this up. So I think it's just rook over, just triple hitting this square, forcing you to make some move. And then I can actually do this, hitting your rook. You'd probably end up putting it here right now. And I could trade off your light square bishop if I needed to. Take, 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 check. Move out of the way. I'm just a little bit slow to get there, so the sack doesn't really work. I could try sack the knight for the light square bishop. That's actually really strong. If I go here, if you move it out of the way, I'm going to take it, and then I'm going to put my back here hitting your pawn. So this actually looks like a really, oopsie, sorry. This looks like a really strong move. If I do this and you push, I'm actually not sure. Oh, this is a fork as well. So this directly... Maybe the queen comes up. No, you can't. This directly... What are you doing to this? Here? I take, you take, and I'm protecting this here, so you can like hit my king, but I move it out of the way, and I've got another rook coming, and I'm hitting this. Yeah, this just looks really strong. Of course, now if you close up the situation, that's a little bit less fun for me. What would I do then? Still take and bring over for the check. Then I don't know actually. If you close up this diagonal, this doesn't really work so well. This doesn't work. This is the only one. Maybe I just bring my other rook over. I can also hit this weak pawn there. Oh, actually, if you do this, I could also just break down the situation. Because here you're... Oh, okay, that definitely is not the best, I think. Here, here, check, and you have to cover with your... Oh my goodness, I think you're just dropping a piece here. Still covering this so your queen can't come in. Okay, I think our opponent just crumbled. Because this and this crisscross... Who's used to say this? Crisscross applesauce or something? No, no, no. I think that's... Unless I missed something, I think that's game. Um, oh, wow, okay. You're just gonna keep on attacking me, huh? So what if I take... And then I check... And then I check again. If you're running backwards, I guess... Wait, so if I take now, and you take back, and I check here, and you take this, then I check you again, you can't come back, you can only come here, and then I've got you in a tough spot, where I literally can just come over and mate you like this. So take, take, and if you run backwards, then I just come in with this, and my queen's coming in. Alright, I think I still have it. So here, still covering this square, very important. This knight is doing big work. You can't run out other side, so if I check, you have to take the rook or run back, or sack your queen, obviously, but that's not going to happen. I do wish my queen was already on the light squares, though, to be able to get out. Even on the back rank, to be able to get out might have been good, but yeah, this is different. Okay, and now here, and if you take, check, you've only got this square, check. If you take, it's mate. If you run backwards, isn't it mate anyway? Then I go like here. And you've... Yeah, okay. I'm pretty sure this is just crashing. Only blocking squares your queen. It's not happening. If you run backwards... And now I can jump my knight up as well because it's protected. Now I'd have this. And you'd have to go here. And then I'd be able to bring my queen in, or just, you know, take your queen. Always good. Okay, now this is just mate now, I think. So how did I see this? It's here first, and you've got only this square or there. Okay, so here, this is your only square to get away. I'm so glad they took the rook, actually. The other part looked so much more confusing. Here, and then your king only has the backward square there if you want to run away. And if you take, it's just mate. So now you have to go back. And now I actually think... I feel like it's just mate anyway. I just have to check this out. If I go back, this is your only move. Oh, hang on. So I can do this. This is your only move. I take your queen and then it's mate next anyway. Or I just come in. Here, you can't move any pawns that matter and mate. Here, your queen can't come in anyway and mate. Yeah, okay, so I don't have to... Ooh, shit. I don't actually have to do anything fancy. Although the discovery also looked quite crashing, but this is just mate. Yo, this Nimzo-Indian turned into fire. It doesn't always go that well for me in the Nimzo. I've played it for a while, ever since I stopped playing the French, basically. Because I would play the French kind of against everything, I think. Or did I play the French in the Nimzo? Maybe I played the French in the Nimzo at the start. And I used to think, oh, I kind of understand it, but clearly I never did. Or I just forgot everything. Because it's just too complicated. Wow. I never, like this kind of move, this like, I give my opponent an extra way to move because I know that they can't. I never had that confidence back in the day. I would always be like, no, I'm gonna screw it up. Oh, I have to be active. Okay, our opponents saw they have to take, and then it's mate, and if they do anything else, we just go here and it's mate. So that was fantastic. That was really, really nice. That was a very fun way to win. Gotta love sacrificing some material, right? So Nimzo-Indian, so yeah, d4, knight f6, c4, e6. They could still be a Catalan. They could be whatever this is, and then that would be like a Bogo if I played it, which I also like playing sometimes. There is like an a3 move to stop the Nimzo-Indian, but it's, you know, then I could just kind of go into a queen's gambit declined, and it doesn't really matter that much, or into something else. I don't know. But we didn't have to do that. It was a Nimzo. Alright. This used to be my most frustrating. So, I think my big mistake in the Nimzo always was that I wanted to play very active and aggressive, because the point of the Nimzo is that white is slower in development. I move one pawn, two minor pieces, and I can castle, right? So immediately I can open up the position, and white still has to figure out, has to figure out their development and get the king to safety. But I would overplay my hand immensely, and I would always just get completely crushed. So actually in all the Nimzo variations, just castling straight away is always safe. Don't do something stupid like d6 where you like walk into a pen and then... I've done that before. Very frustrating. Alright, so instead of anything crazy, I decided I'm just going to fianchetto my light square bishop. This is a little bit also like uh, Queen's Indian. So I like the fact that there's a Queen's Indian. It seems kind of fun. But I don't specifically know that it's apparently very theory heavy if I remember correctly, but I don't really know it. I get into that structure because I play the Nimzo and I like to fianchetto my light square bishop, as you just saw, and then kind of do that kingside attack if it's possible. So this is the Leningrad if you don't play knight f6 first, or knight f3 first. So the Leningrad really frustrating because you end up having to like figure out what to do against this dark square bishop. Anyway, nothing right at the start. they close off, we push it once, and then we castle. I do think that one of the main moves normally is you push, and then you push the C pawn actually, so h6 and then c5 is a way to play against the Leningrad as well, and I forget specifically why, but I like castling before I move the rest of these pawns because I don't want to walk into problems here. I've done that too many times in my life. Alright, light square bishop can go to either square. In the very previous game, the game just before this, we played the reverse London, and I made a point of saying I'm putting my dark square bishop here. Reverse London is London for black, right? So I put my dark square bishop here, which is that square in a comparison, specifically because your opponent can get um, a fork with their pawn if you're not careful, and we literally threaten the same thing against white here. So if you move your light square bishop to the most active diagonal with d3 or d6, you gotta be careful that it doesn't get forked against alongside your knight. Alright, so now we're going to slowly build up for e5, which is very critical for us to do. Uh, there is also a pawn structure like this, with the light square bishop behind it, which you can play against the Bogo. There is also a very standard kind of like easy Nimzo plan where you double the pawns on the c file, and then you play your knight and your bishop out like this to hit that pawn, and it becomes very difficult for white to actually protect it because the knight covers the bishop from being attacked, and only the queen can kind of help keep that pawn safe, but then your queen's covering a pawn. It's really, really silly. So I don't actually play that plan myself a lot, but playing against it is always frustrating because basically white's one pawn is a goner and they have to just kind of make some other plan. But the Nimzo for white is also super fun. The Nimzo is just, who's that guy? Chess coach Andras, who always talks about senoritas or something like that. He also speaks very highly of the Nimzo, and in his evaluation of what is good to play, it's about the pawn structures you can get. You can get multiple pawn structures. So, yeah, there's so many ways you can play. But anyway, the castle, we're going to take out that knight. I'm very happy with that. We bring our other knight out. This is why we did this move. So we can build this, and we have this knight protecting this knight as well if we need to. Sometimes you can get the situation where you jump the first knight up, and then you bring the other knight in behind it. But we didn't do that. Rook b1 is probably fine. But I think you're kind of missing the point because I can take back and have my A file for myself. I don't really think that's the right way to go. I think queen up would have been fine. I think a4 would have been fine. Rook b1 feels a little bit incorrect. So we bring our king up, queen out. We are now completely finished with our development. We had one aggressive bishop and we traded it off, and now we are going to expand. We've kind of prepped ourselves. We're coming. So a4 doesn't matter if there's no rook behind it, I think. If there was, I would have to either go this way and then kind of have weaker pawns in the middle, or go this way and let you trade off the rooks on the a file, and then, like slowly but surely, maybe the game shifts from the king side to the queen side because you're opening up the files on that side. But anyway, here we go with e5. I think the correct move, if you've moved your queen like you were supposed to, is e4 here. If I take, I fix your pawns, and if I don't take, we just kind of have this standoff. Although I guess, actually maybe, yeah, no, because I could win that pawn, but I'd have to play g5. So if you had your queen here at e4, I could play g5, bishop up, and then I could take once, and take again, and take again. So I would fix your pawns, but I would win a pawn. Would it be worth it? Maybe. Anyway, so white realized that the threat that's coming, unfortunately for them, they did not have their queen ready to help defend this, or their rook ready to help defend this with the e4 push. Yeah, so they kind of realized the danger. If it was my game, I would say, like, I admit my mistake. So yeah, so not the best move. And here we go g4, because now we know we've got a really good jump with this knight. Yeah, the game would have gone very differently if they played here, because we would have done this, they would have protected that jump, we would have taken here, and then there's no, like, immediate plan. Although we'd probably bring our other knight over and potentially fork, skewer the queen and the rook or something, although they would be able to protect it, so we'd have to take the knight maybe, and then their pawns would be like moving like this, so they have this pawn structure in front of the king, and we'd maybe try and hit this pawn or something. I'm not sure. Anyway, they decided to sack. This happens. This does not happen in this variation. This is no longer a specific variation, so it's a move we expected. We did play the main idea we had, which was to bring down the rook. And very, very important in this situation that we saw what the threat was. So we take the other bishop first. And now we have the active knight, we have the rook, this guy is hanging and this pawn is hanging, so they have to defend it. And I'm very proud of founding rook h4, h5, because this didn't seem like doubling the rook seems so natural, but I don't know, once they played g3, I'm not so sure what I would have done. So this just felt great. Here they, oopsie, here they come. I was surprised, and here they come, surprised again. Super happy to have calculated this. Here. This was a bit tricky. I was probably going to play my knight up. They probably put their rook over. No, if they rook over, it's checkmate. Actually, you can't. So if you move back, I play knight up. Then what would you do? Actually, you're still completely screwed. Maybe you do this. Then I would take, you'd move here. Then I would go here, hitting these squares. So maybe you take my rook, and then it's still, oh wow, there was just, those was actually just mate in both directions. Okay, so they took, and this was a really nice find here, and probably, hmm, where would I have been able to move? Probably here, you go back. I can't go there, that's the kind of the problem, because I'd love to take here. So maybe this way actually, you go back. I check you, you have to come out, and if you come here, maybe I do this. Yeah, and then actually it's mate as well. Okay, so probably everything here was mate, but I really liked this small move. Just boop, and I'm coming in. All right, let's have a look at the opening book. Let's have a look. Our opponent, 1942. Nice. Nice, 1942. Oh, we are 1 point short of 2000 as well. 1987 plus 12 rating points. So we're not here for the rating points itself, but being aware that we're so close, I'm obviously kind of checking. They already ran the evaluation, and yeah, we were doing slightly worse, and then we just started crashing. So let's just look at the opening first. Yes. Hello. Alright, Nimzo-Indian, and there's multiple ways they can play. Knight f3, I think is the Kramnik. Three knights variation, I think it's called Kramnik as well. I'm actually going to check out my... where's Nimzo? Nope, that's Nimzo-Larsen. That's bad. Nimzo-Indian, Nimzo-Bogo, here we go. Yeah, the Nimzo and the Bogo are so similar, so I actually put them in the same thing. F3. No, knight f3. Three knights Kasparov. This Kasparov Sicilian. Ach, the Kasparov Nimzo. Here we go. Alright, yeah, there's a few different variations here. We ended up playing, what, the b6 line, which is the one I've got highlighted here, which is called the Duchamp variation. Tricky, but no transpositions, and there's a chessable course for it, I guess. Man, this is a long time ago that I put these things together. Alright, so yeah, nothing comes up in the Lichess database, but apparently it's called the Duchamp variation. Let's see. Bishop g5 is main move, bishop b7 is main move, e3, h6. We're actually following very main here. Bishop b4, g5 directly. I don't know if I would have done that. Okay, bishop taking here is okay, c5 is okay, castling is not as good as everything else. Queen e7, I understand that as well. Knight c6, I do not know that line so well. So we castled. g5 directly feels so insane to me. Knight e4, obviously. c2. Take, doubling the pawns. And then d6. allowing your other knight to come out. They double attack your knight and you defend it with the F pawn. They cut off the defense and you jump it back. Oh, I've seen this variation. Yeah, I don't like this at all, to be honest. I'm just gonna run this down quickly. It's, yeah, like they come in with their queen and oh, it's not nice. Like this. Like, why would I ever want to play this? I mean, yeah, they've got terrible pawns and he has doubled, but I don't know. Actually, to be fair, looking at this now, when I originally looked at this, I remember looking at it and being like, I would never play this. But now that I look at it, actually, it's not that bad. The queens are off. Material is relatively equal. I've got six pawns versus they like everything. They've got four, five, six, seven, eight. But, three are isolated, four are doubled. So I wouldn't actually count all their pawn sides. This one's clearly gonna fall. Yeah, we're just gonna trade off for that pawn. So I would just have taken, but apparently this is the main move first. Take that one. King B. I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, this is not what we were gonna play. I'm not playing G5 straight away. I'm castling. Wow, okay, so very good at the master level for white. This whole situation. D5, not what I was playing. D6 is what I was playing. Bishop E7 back, no. D6 castle takes the knight. Takes back, knight BD. Ah, okay, so here on the master level, they know what's coming. So knight D2, E5, queen C2, F4. Wow, okay, let's just go with the main one. Queen C2, rook E8, rook AE. Yeah, there's a lot of action on the E file. Okay, but white didn't know about all this craziness, and so their immunity just worse. Oh my god, interesting. Okay, so queen E7 was a mistake. We were supposed again to play G5, and they could either take or not, but let's say they don't. Here, here, F again, and it's getting very similar to last time. I could take something, although in this case I'm clearly also launching a kingside attack. Right, anyway, I just played kind of the standard way I know, and here we go, E5. Let's actually just go back and see if the top leeches database has this position. I don't need the engine right now, thank you. They do. Queen e8. Queen e7 is not a move. Alright, no one plays queen e7, apparently just me. Oh wow. Okay, let's just see what they did. c5 in this position. a4, queen c7. Wait, why am I playing queen c7? Knight e4, oh, to get out of the pin, obviously, sorry. Oh wow. They sack an exchange and a pawn for potential kingside crush. Very interesting. Wow, I mean, I would have expected them to take here. Where are the bishops hanging? What am I saying? Alright, interesting stuff. So queen e7 apparently is just trash, but I liked it. And here were they supposed to bring their light square bishop out onto this diagonal early. Did not even consider that. Right, but they also didn't do it. And apparently this is the right way to continue, and it's good for me obviously if they sack. And here, yeah, my plan is fine. And going on the H file directly is also good, but sure. This felt good. Oh yeah, and this is just crushing, because now you've got too many pieces hanging. What's the best move here? Taking directly is best. Okay, let's just see. Take, take. Oh, of course. What if you protect it? Oh, I'll just be happy to take your queen, I guess. And I'm hitting this pawn, I'm coming in with check. Okay, I mean, I didn't even consider that, but that was so much more clean. Just just doubling up and sacking. Oh, just sacking and doubling up. Just sacking and doubling up. That's why I didn't see it. I didn't look backwards. Oh, should have changed the move order in my head. Anyway, still good. Yeah, this is very good for me. Oh, best move was taking. I mean, what was I doing in this position? I think I would have still gone with the same basic plan. And in this case, oh wow. Okay, well this is anyway very good for black. Okay, so take, they push past, and here, hey yo, sack. Mate in 5 after you take. Did I get it? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yes. Very nice. Alright, so super happy to see minus 12. Let's see if the engine can find mate. Minus 14, minus 50. Oh, that looked like it was getting close. Minus 17. Alright. And, okay, it finds mate as soon as you take. 11 moves mate. Doesn't matter what you do. Okay, I don't think I can find mate in 11. That's pretty crazy. But after you take, it's mate in 6. Mate in 6. You just hit 5 a second ago. Anyway, yeah. That was a nice finish. That was a really nice finish. You gotta be ruthless when you're coming at the king, I guess. Best don't miss and all of that. I never watched The Wire. Alright, I waffled big time with this game. Partly because it was really fun and partly because I just felt like talking a bit, I guess. Accuracy 96%, that's pretty good. 1 in accuracy way back at the start. We were supposed to play G5 directly. Yeah, but I just don't like that position. Alright, I don't know. Maybe I should look at it. Recommended puzzle training for Nimzo-Indian. We're not going to do that right now. Sicilian defense lover. Pity he was white. Alright. Well, that was pretty good. And I think I don't have any more specific analysis I want to do on this one. I'm fairly happy with most of it. We were never really confused about what to do. We were just trying to consider what was happening in front of us before we made all the moves. Uh, yeah, taking here kind of walks into the problem. They shouldn't have done that. I see here h4 was a good move for them. And then what? Then I would bring my knight across. Let's see, here. Oh, that's much more complicated. Yeah, so h4 would have been very, very complicated, but they just took and that just made everything really easy. Alright, fantastic. Nice to get another one in the books. We'll be seeing you again, and yeah, every step of the way along this road, right? See you next time and keep on improving. Bye bye.